Hello and welcome to the first Drone DJ of 2024. Today's focus is talking about what potentially is coming for 2024 in the drone world. And towards the end, I also have a list of what is being terminated, what we will no longer see in 2024 as well. Let's kick off with some predictions. Kirk, what are you thinking in the consumer drone world? What do you think is coming up this year?
Yeah, we haven't gotten our usual leak from either, one of the two leakers that usually give us like a window or a calendar of what's going to come out this year yet. Hopefully that comes out in the next few weeks because I always like writing up that article. But looking back in the last year of like we had the Mini 4 and we had the Mavic 3 Pro and we had the Air 3, and then looking at this year like, okay, so we have all those drones are pretty much fresh, especially the Mavic 4, the Mini 4 is like there. So like what are we going to look at this year for drone releases? And it feels really scarce. Like it feels like if there is going to be a release, it's going to be like very minor, kind of how the Mini 4 Pro was. If we see like a Mavic 4, or I don't think we're going to see an Air 4. We might see an Air 3, maybe an Air 3S if they're still doing the S's. I don't even think they are. I don't know. It feels scarce. But one drone I didn't talk about this beforehand. One drone I do think we're going to get a decent upgrade for. I think it's going to be Avada. I think that an Avada 2
I agree.
I think is pretty solid.
Well. Yeah.
I don't know what it already does. Is it 4K 60 records? Is that I feel like I don't know.
You know why I think there's going to be a Avada upgrade? Because in December, DJI had a major discount on Avada, 30% off.
It did, right? Yeah, that was one of the drones that
yeah, that's one of the major discounts. I mean, normally when we're seeing a huge discount on the DJI product, it's because they're gearing up on a new release.
Yeah.
I really hope they come out with a mini Avada that puts it under 250.
That would be nice. If they made the Avada below 250, that would be killer. Like I would love that so much. I got to play with it one day for like maybe like 15 minutes and I loved it. And I was walking around Best Buy yesterday. I had to buy a new cable for my camera, and the cable I need is on one side of the store near the computers, and I'm on the other side of the store near the cameras, because whenever you go into a computer store, I get distracted. And they had the Avada right there. The Avada, the Mavic 3 Pro, and the Air 3, and I was like, I didn't get myself. No, I almost bought it, but I didn't. I love that drone. That drone's so much fun. So Avada 2 would be really sick.
It would just be nice to see what updates DJI are going to make for the whole FPV lineup. Because so far, we only had the initial DJI FPV, which personally, I believe that's a failure product. And then Avada was a huge hit. It is a successful product, so it'd be nice to see what next generation DJI can come up with for their FPV lineup. And for their general camera drones, I mean, overall, we're walking into the fourth generation with Mini 4 Pro last year, right? So if we talk about historically, what has DJI done is when they started releasing the fourth generation, they will start releasing variations, right? Is there going to be a SE version? Is there going to be a non-pro version, like what happened to the Mini 3? Try to hit, the lower tier market. We'll see if that happens for Mini 4. But definitely, if we look at Mavic lineup and Air lineup, we're already at the third generation. So if there's going to be any new drones, we're probably looking at Mavic 4. And then after that would be Air 4. And then for Mavic 4, if you ask me, we were talking about enterprise lineup as well. We're talking about competitors, right? Yeah. So with Autel having their Max 4T last year, again, historically, it's when Autel releases a new product that's direct competition to a DJI product. DJI tend to release the next upgrade, right? That's cheaper and has better specs than that specific Autel product. So I wonder if there's going to be a Mavic 4 enterprise lineup waterproof. Yeah. That would be my guess.
And, we are coming up on, I don't remember if CES is this week or next week, but we're coming up on CES week. And I'm not there. I'm not going. There's literally like no consumer drone products there. I'm sure like Sony's there, of course. They'll probably have Air Peak, but like there's no, I didn't see, Autel's not there this year. That was a big disappointment because they've been there the last couple of years. But they didn't show up. Like Dronamics isn't there. They're usually there. It's just a bunch of like manufacturers. Like, so they have like the Chinese section area where like all the drone manufacturers are, or like the parts are. That's like the only thing that's there, and that's really not that interesting. So I mean, if you're nerdy, it is, but for general use, it's really not that interesting. And so I'm a little scared that this year's going to be a little scarce on like major news stories. Like, yeah, we might get a new drone release, but it might just be something like Mavic 4. I don't even know like what you would even increase on those camera specs. Maybe 6K or something. I don't know. And then it's waterproof.
Waterproof.
Yeah, it's waterproof. Which like, I'll be honest, I don't want to fly in the rain. Like waterproof really only makes sense for enterprise use. So like, I'm not gonna, even if I'm doing, I mean, maybe for work wise, like it'd be great, but like for fun flying, no, like I'm not flying in the rain. But yeah, I feel like it's gonna be a little scarce. Autel, I don't know if they're gonna be releasing any new products. They might announce, maybe if they do want to continue their consumer products, the Light and the Nano, maybe they'll announce it towards the end of the year.
We haven't seen updates in Light and Nano for 2 years, right?
Yeah, they released it 2 years ago at CES. Well, they announced that they were doing it before then, but they actually released the products at CES. Last year, they released the Max 4T at CES. So I'm assuming if they want to, and Maxwell, their CEO, loves CES. Like he loves the show. So as long as they're not, I don't think they got put on I don't think they're on the entity list. I don't remember that being put on that. So like they can still, show at CES. So as long as that doesn't change, I think they want to release new products at CES every year. So if they're going to release something new, it probably, other than, the Alpha, we just saw the Alpha get the FCC.
We saw the Autel Alpha hit the FCC list, which they're saying is targeting its competitor to the Matrix 30. So again, that's the enterprise lineup, not the consumer lineup.
Yeah, they'll still take that to CES and show it off, but I'm sure like if they want to release a brand new consumer product, it'll be at CES in 2025.
It was showcased in June as I believe as a prototype at the Energy Drones and Robotics Coalition conference in Texas. So they definitely announced it last year. It just hasn't really hit the FCC list up until now.
The Alpha was released in China. I think it's already out in China, but it has.
Well, same thing. Even if we look at DJI, they had a couple of enterprise products that were released in China.
The delivery drone.
They did have the FCC database late last year, so maybe we'll see those this year from DJI. And just along that note, we're working into. I mean, there were 2 enterprise products from DJI. One was the 3D, I believe, or 2D. I can't remember.
3DS? No,
3DS.
That's Nintendo.
3D. It's the smaller version of the M30, but it's with the dock. It's the dock 2 with the 3D together, right?
Yeah, that should hopefully be coming out this year. I wonder if they'll do another Airworks conference, because when they did Airworks when they announced the M30 with the original dock, and they did a big old demo. I wonder if with the new product maybe they'll do another Airworks.
I don't know. Well,
that would be really fun if they did. I had a lot of fun last time.
Their cargo drone also hit the FCC list last year. But both units were looking at working to beyond visual line of sight, right? Either delivery or beyond visual line of sight.
So that's a little difficult here in the States right now.
Right. That's another topic for 2024 is what we will see in the drone delivery world. I mean, the prediction is we're definitely going to see more flights. But in general, I mean, how many flights have we actually seen? We've put the call out to our audience throughout the year as we follow the stories on, Walmart announcing new potential delivery testing spots. But so far, we haven't seen any reports of a civilian saying, hey, I've had a delivery package, right, at my door. So the increase would scale and what type of delivery operations. Is it really going to be civilian or just still going to remain at the pure R&D stage? That part, it's still unknown. And relating to that story, I guess part of that is if we talk about potential 2024 updates on the regulation side, are we really going to see remote ID coming in March? Because that was delayed from last September, right?
Yeah, and that's going to be kind of the hot topic. I mean, at this point, I think the current extension is that you still have, I think at this point you have to be compliant with it. It's just like whether or not if you can't get a module, like, you can wait till March. But yeah, that's always great. A hard set on a new rule, and that's already pretty controversial. I mean, we've talked about it so much last year about our opinions on it, and where we have concerns. But it doesn't look like the FAA is changing their mind on it at all so far. So it looks like we're just going to be one thing that we're just going to deal with and work around it.
We shall see.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, that's going to be a big moment this year, as well as those delivery drone regulations. If it's actually bolsters the push. I feel like that's more of a demand in the the regulations might go in like, and then will the demand actually be there in other cities? So
Well, that's the same thing as earlier you were mentioning for the consumer drone market. Is it going to be a slow year in terms of new product or updates? Like right now with new iPhone release, I don't care much because it's not a substantial, it's not a generational update anymore.
I mean, it's still like, because we have our Apple sister site, Apple site, Apple 905 Mac, and I mean it's still the biggest time of the year, like when it comes to not just site views and also, but like
but that's also
push
a lot
around the entire community. Like it's still very, very exciting when a new iPhone comes out.
Community, like when you're talking about real iPhone geeks, they really drill down on specs, on comparisons. But this is no longer mattering that much to, let's say, someone like me. I just use it as a phone. If my phone, I'm still happy with it. Would I go for exactly the next generation every time it gets released? Probably not. And same thing to drones is if my Mavic 3 Pro and my Mini 3 Pro or Mini 4 Pro are still working great. And then the next one, Mavic 4, let's say, comes out with a slide camera update with waterproof. Am I going to ditch my Mavic 3 Pro just to get a Mavic 4?
You're going to spend a couple $1,000s. Like, iPhone at most would be spending like maybe a little bit over $1,000. Like this would be like, do you want to drop another couple $1,000 on a new drone?
How many hours you're actually on your phone per day versus how many hours, would you be on your drone per day? The usage is not the same, right?
Well, maybe if I had TikTok on my DJI controller, maybe I would be flying my drone more. Maybe that's what they need to do. They need to install TikTok.
Well, they do have live stream to Facebook and YouTube, I believe.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, maybe they need to update that to include TikTok, and maybe I'll just do TikTok streams all day on my drone. Just walk around my drone all day doing live streams. We did talk a little bit about the controller space, about the RC2, or if you get an RC Pro 2 or something like that, because we have the RC2 that came out with the Air 3, because we have a big upgrade to a lot of these drones is going to be OcuSync 4, which is on the Air, came on the Air 3, and will probably come on the Mavic 4. Well, it has to come on the Mavic 4. There's no way they're not going to.
With if Mavic 4 comes out, it's definitely going to have OcuSync 4. On the controller side, the DJI RC2 has HDMI out through the USB Type-C, which is a big upgrade from Mini 3 Pro. If you want to Mavic 3 or Mini 3 Pro, if you want to have HDMI out, you've got to run the RC Pro controller, which will cost you $1,200, well, $1,000 US large, right? That's a huge investment in just the controller. So what I was saying earlier is if DJI releases a RC Pro 2 controller, even for me, like I don't see why I would spend $1,000 to get just a controller when I can already get HDMI out from the DJI RC2. And if I really want third-party app, maybe I just spend $200, buy an N2 controller, put a pad on, get a mount, put a pad on, and run apps on the pad instead.
Yeah, I think a lot of the benefits of the RC Pro 2 has kind of like gone away with the RC2. Like, I guess you would have a larger screen. You can't upgrade. You can't. I think
it's the same size, only slightly brighter.
Is it? I thought the RC Pro was a little bit bigger.
No, it's RC Plus for the Enterprise, for Inspire 3 or Enterprise. It is a much larger screen.
Okay. But maybe they will. Maybe they'll make it a larger screen. Maybe that's how they get around. They can't make it a higher resolution because you're only going to.
For consumer, for consumer, while prosumer camera drone, what's the need? You just run it through.
I have one item that if they add it, I would buy it in a heartbeat, and that's cellular. If they give you can buy
the dongle,
not even a dongle, just like built in. It's like you can connect to a SIM card. Just throw a SIM card in there and it works. Yeah. I would buy that in a heartbeat, because having like the worst thing in the world is going out there to wherever you are and like you have to do an update, and then now you have to now you pull your phone out to do like the hotspot, and like now you drained your phone battery, like. And like it's just like if it's just built in, like just having like Google Maps or the maps pop up when you're out there, like without having any cellular, like it's practically useless. The map feature.
But see, that was another topic. In China, they have a 4G dongle for DJI drones. That was never available in North American market. So why is there no cell phone option for DJI drones in North American market? Can they make that happen here?
I mean, it's just like I think a 4G dongle. I mean, makes I don't know, like T-Mobile, like just partner with T-Mobile. I think we talked about partnering with. You can just partner with Verizon, partner with T-Mobile. You know, T-Mobile now is going to have service through Starlink satellites. So it just they could partner with one, or they can just literally just throw a SD card.
Telecom in general is a touchy subject, right? Along security, like DJI and
Yeah.
Autel already on the hot seats for the US. You know,
I can see how that's not
list.
Yeah, like we are like there are laws that are teasing just straight bans of all DJI products. So like throwing in, 4G capability or just cellular capability into it might make things hard. But I mean, it's not like, I don't know, like it's just maybe we just get over it and just move past it. But it's politics. That's never going to happen. So, another thing that I think would be a good, and I just thought about a good thing for RC Pro too would be like a hot swappable battery. There's room. It's like a thicker thing. They could totally throw like a small battery that's hot swappable in there. So like
it's available for enterprise controllers.
Like the RC Pro has that, and it's a smaller battery because they have two. I think it's two batteries. One that's not removable, one that is. So
RC
you would
RC
Plus has, the RC Plus has that. So like if you could like just like it just pops out of like the bottom like of the controllers and just put new ones in there, like maybe that would work. I don't know. Like they have experience with removable batteries.
I have been using it. I just bought like a 20,000 milliamp those battery packs,
yeah,
and just run the cable through.
Just buy a Blue Yeti, just get one of those big, like
I have a 2000.
just bring that out there and just plug it in. That's
a separate story, because when I'm flying, let's say if I'm flying with a controller and I want it charged, right? Mm-hmm. Then the portable, like 10,000 milliamp portable battery pack helps, because then it's people free. I can walk around with it rather than Blue Yeti. I have to actually connect. Like I use charge batteries, right?
I got this for Christmas like 2 years ago, I think, or a year and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
No, wait, hold on. Year ago? It was weird. 2024 was 2022. It's like the solar one. Like it has like the solar panels on top. Like it works perfect. Like it.
Yeah, I have those.
It actually charges up pretty quickly too. Like it's actually pretty useful.
Yeah, like I have those for camping. I don't I don't take major electronics when I go, really off the grid camping. But it's great for my Kindle, right? Something if I just want to read. I don't want to carry. Obviously, I don't want to carry probably 10 plus books with me when I'm camping.
True. Yeah, like it's something like that would be. I mean, we saw DJI like the battery pack, released leak or whatever. So maybe that could possibly be the biggest release this year, is DJI entering its own, like battery pack, battery replacement, or battery backup like space. And whether or not they're going to go into that as a business or going as a side project accessory for drones. Like if they're going to go in and be like, well, like people use it already for our drones, we might as well make our own, and it's just like a small thing we do. Or if they're going to go in and be like, yeah, no, we're coming after Blue Yeti, we're coming after all those other companies, like we're going to make house replacement size batteries. That would be interesting to see. I don't think they're going to do that, but we'll see. We'll see how that business takes off, and if how they're going to do that. That I would buy one. I mean, I like my name brand products. Like I'm a sucker for buying, all the Apple stuff by Apple and not by a third party. So I'm sure I'll be like, no, give me the DJI battery.
We shall see, because DJI did release their portable battery in China. That actually hits North American market this year.
Yeah, so that would be interesting to see, like how that works out, and if there's any actual benefit to use that over like just any other battery pack on Amazon. So.
Well, my last wish list on the new drone side, before we talk about what's no longer available for 2024, is, again, this is a topic we touch on regularly, is are we going to see the real DJI competitor this year?
Yeah. And I think they have to be in stealth mode, because there's no current company right now that is currently operating that, unless they have some big secret project, like I don't think has the capability to compete. So like it has to be some stealth mode, and honestly, I don't think it's a US company. I don't think a US company can do it, because I think there's too much. There's not the camera technology isn't there in the United States as much as it is like in Japan or Taiwan. Like if you just drone company maybe comes out of stealth mode in Japan that is using Canon. Canon's Japan, right? Yeah. and using like Canon technology for like, you know, DJI has Hasselblad, so this company has like is using like, you know, Canon lens sensors. That would be good. That would be crazy. I think. The US though, I want to stick to Autel making the move to the United States would be a major play. I don't think it. I have no insight, and there's
This is
probably
pure
no chance of that
guessing.
ever happening. But in my thought, they already have like their Autel automotive area. It's already over here. They already have experience. Like it's why not? Other than the fact that manufacturing in China is easier. I get it, but why don't you like, you know, you can figure it out here too. Like it's
Well, what we haven't seen from Autel is a clear strategic plan on what exactly they're doing, number
yeah.
one. Number two, is Autel still going to be a Maxwell, you know, family within the family run business, or is this going to be hiring a professional CEO, industry CEO, running and taking the brand to the next step? That's the part that we're very unclear about. You know what? The other potential would be, would a computer company, you know, a laptop company, right, coming out with a drone, because it's not just the camera, it's the overall integration, right? It's the sensor, it's the silicon, it's the sensor, it's the flight controller, it's everything needs to be on the integrated platform, it's all your obstacle avoidance sensors, right? It's everything that needs to work together. So my guess would be, can a computer company with their integration experience put that together? Second guess would be, can a car company put that together?
I mean, what is a drone but a car that flies? That's really small. I think the computer company is a good one. Sadly, we know enough from our sister sites that the keeping projects under wrap at those companies is almost nearly impossible, as we can see by DJI. They're in the
It's
same
got to
boat.
be a new team. Like this is
a new team. It would have to be a brand new team that they were kept secret. I mean, Apple right now, it's not Apple because they're full in on their car project and AR stuff. So it wouldn't be them, but like Google, you know, maybe a Google like split off company from Alphabet. You know, maybe that's the project, you know, but I feel like, you know, entering the consumer market for any company right now is like probably super difficult and super like high risk and high capital intensive.
From several of the IoT companies in Asia during the new year, their prediction for the market is more shifting towards B2B, like business enterprise, rather than just consumer focused, right?
Yeah, like I feel like the play now for any company is like, if they're going to make a play, it's going to be in like drone delivery, drone cargo movement. But like,
you see, I'm on the other side. I'm not big on drone delivery. I'm actually big on just.
I don't think it is either. I think that's the hype around VCs right now.
It is the hype, but like if we talk about real industry growth, I'm still on optimizing the existing commercial operations better, saturate and grow that market better, like for engineering firms, for construction, for major infrastructure, you know, hydro, like infrastructure inspection type. I'm still a big believer that those industries are not, you know, nearly fully saturated, that they need better optimization, they need better personnel training, technology implementation. It's not there yet.
Yeah, and I think a big player would be like if there's actually a ban on Chinese-made consumer products. If that
that was another topic. Is
right,
still, you know, and
right now is big enterprise.
U.S. national defense ban list.
Entering the enterprise market right now, smart, because that's, you know, practically any company over in China that's the leader. DJI and Autel, like, they're not going to be able to play the same ball. But then consumer products, like if they start banning consumer products, that's a huge consumer break-in. Even for like, I mean, I think it'd be stupid for no one at Apple to even bring it up. Like, be like, hey, if they're banning DJI and they're banning, you know, although like, can they manufacture in China? Do they just have to move their headquarters? Is all if all DJI needs to do to get around a ban on consumer products, if all they have to do is move the headquarters, like to New York or LA or whatever, like, is that all they have to do? Like, and then they can just continue manufacturing in China? That's the thing that just doesn't make sense to me about any of these rules. It's like, okay, so they just have to move their headquarters. Got it. Like they just have to
So
incorporate in the United
I
States.
think there are more detailed restrictions, especially in terms of parts and communication protocols.
Yeah, it's just like it's one of like, okay, so what's the difference between iPhones made in China? Like, I mean, they use communication standards and parts that they have
Well,
modems and
I'm not a
radio
communication
and
expert. I don't know if there
yeah.
are specific
No, I don't know either.
protocols,
I don't know. Like it's
patents, and things involved. And
yeah.
I can only tell you that from because we dealt with several of the government like R&D grants. So when you're looking at a product, how do you define it as, let's say, a Canadian or a US product? It's no longer by how much of it is manufactured overseas. So they're looking at, let's say, if the cost of producing this product, not manufacturing, if the cost of producing the overall product, say, is $10,000, they look at, okay, how much of that is, let's say R&D, let's say management, sales and other things. Like they look at the value if only 10% or 20% of its cost is manufacturing, and that's done overseas. But majority of it is in, let's say, the high level, research, development, technology, sales, marketing side, then it can be still defined by a local product, like if all of those were happening within the country. Again, I'm not the expert on that.
I don't. Yeah, it'd just be interesting, like what happens if your super products start being banned, because then it's an absolute. I think that's like a Wild West scenario. Like, who knows what company's going to come up with what companies might, if that actually might be the the push. They'll be like, okay, cool, DJI is now a U.S. company. Like, whatever is the issue with CCP or whatever, like they now have to decide.
Like, if they're doing that, what would be the replacement to DJI and Autel in the consumer drone market? Like Skydio,
No idea.
Consumer drone market.
Who
else is offering the same products?
Yeah, like wonder if Skydio would come back if that was a thing. Like, although I don't know, their lobbying so strong that if they even had a hint of that happening, they would. I don't know why they would cancel their consumer product. So maybe that's not going to happen because by pseudo thinking, like they canceled it with their knowledge of DC, they know it's not going to be banned. So why would I don't know?
We don't know, but it's not that
easy. That would be a Wild West scenario. I don't think it's going to happen in 2024 though. I don't think that's this year thing. Maybe we'll see a tease of like more laws, but I don't think any of them are going to get passed.
Well, along that note, let's talk about what's not going to be available. I mean, so far, every year DJI announces their product suspension, right? So this year, their product suspension looks like mainly focused on enterprise side. This is end of service timeline. No, it's not just that these products are no longer being manufactured. They stopped being manufactured a long time ago. This is DJI saying they're actually no longer supporting on service side for these products. Along the enterprise lineup, the big titles are Matrix 100, Matrix 200, Matrix 600. All three of them are service suspended as of February 24th, 2024. So only a month and a half from now. I'm not surprised seeing Matrix 100 and Matrix 600 because those products came from, production suspension time was 2019 and 2016. But they were available in the market. I mean, we're talking about 2016, 17. That's when they were actually manufactured, right? So I'm not surprised seeing those products being suspended. But Matrix 200, Matrix 300 was just released a year and a half ago, and then 350 was released last year as an improvement. But 200 is still a relatively new product. I'm surprised to see that 200, the service suspension, is also announced with February. And then there's the RTK station and some of the other minor enterprise products. So that's on, if you're using any DJI Enterprise products, definitely take a look at the service suspension list. Along that note, we just got the confirmation yesterday, right? DJI confirmed that they will be shutting down their education division in US. This was announced last year that DJI will be shutting down its STEAM products, so the RoboMasters, the Tello products that are for coding for kids to play with. They announced that they will shut it down in China, but we just got confirmation that they will also shut down the division in US. So we will no longer
would probably spread to the rest of the world. I don't know where it all is supported, but if it's US and China, I don't think it's going to be. Canada's not going to be. It's not going to be like Canada's going to keep it. No, it's going to be probably the rest of the world.
Yeah. So pretty much the whole line of product will be suspended. They will no longer support.
I've always wanted to get like dive into the
Global
Tello stuff
Master?
and just see what it was. Yeah, I really honestly I want to, but I know there are some other options out there, so maybe like it's not.
I always felt I mean, Tello is okay. It's fun to
Mhm.
play with indoors. But to
Yeah.
me, I would rather play with Avada indoors because I feel
Eh,
safer. Like Tello, if you look at the design, is still partly open propellers. I never felt
yeah.
safe like having a group of kids playing with Tello indoors. I was
Although
still
was Tello, was it a really tame drone? Like was it super slow?
it is. It's small
Mm.
and it's slow and it's more meant for coding purposes.
Yeah.
So you can play with coding, setting up commands.
I wanted to actually try one. I actually want to try to get a bunch of them and like because you could put little lights on them and just do my own drone show, like, and see if I can and see what the limitations are. See if I can get like 100 of them would probably cost way too much.
It is
But
a
like,
fun play around drone for sure.
yeah, like hopefully, I think the Tello drone was definitely the more unique product there because I know the RoboMaster was cool, but like we talked about
I
this.
felt it was overpriced, and right now
There's so
three.
many of them out there, like especially on Alibaba or something like that. You can find so many of them. But like Tello seemed a little bit more unique, especially coming from a drone company. Like they know their drones. So, but I guess
But
it
it's
obviously wasn't taken
that
off.
DJI never really invested into
Yeah,
growing. I guess that's why they're cutting it out. Well,
yeah,
so those
that's
are what we're not gonna see for 2024.
yeah. The Enterprise stuff is interesting as well. So that one, I don't know. Maybe Enterprise usually it's less about getting people to buy the new products and more about supporting them. So maybe they just have some numbers that like the M200, just they got the M300 replaced the M200. They're not doing a lot of sales, a lot of replacements for it. So it makes sense to just finally cut it. Or maybe they're actually trying to get people to buy M350 or something. But I'm not. That's not my space. I'm sure anyone who's operating an M200, for the last couple of years, probably has the operating cash to hopefully afford an M300. Like, so sell off your M200, get the M300.
We shall see.
I'm sure you'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, those are everything we are hoping for in 2024. Just to recap, we're working to the fourth generation of the DJI camera drone market, and we're hoping to see the Mavic 4 for the enterprise lineup as well. And my wish list is waterproof for at least, let's say Mavic 4T, the thermal version would be nice to see waterproof for, security, public safety operations as a smaller drone, right? And we're hoping to see more generational updates on the Autel products. Let's we hit Nano 2 or Nano Lite 2 this year. We'll see where Autel is really positioning itself. I guess we'll find out more after CES, see if there's any other players coming to the market, then CES would be the place to announce for sure.
Yeah. So this is gonna be hopefully it's a good year this year. Hopefully we're good releases, good news, good items. But I have only one way to find out. That's the keep living this year.
We will see you back next week. And Happy New Year to our audience.
She accidentally left. I'll end the stream for her.